President Donald Trump is heading toward a point of no return in his war with Iran as a key legal deadline looms on May 1st under the War Powers Resolution, also known as the War Powers Act. This law limits how long a president can keep U.S. forces in combat without approval from Congress, putting Trump under growing political and legal pressure in Washington. The War Powers Resolution says a president must notify Congress within 48 hours of sending U.S. forces into hostilities and must end those operations within 60 days unless Congress declares war or passes a specific authorization. The president can add up to 30 more days only to safely withdraw troops if he certifies that this is needed for unavoidable military necessity. Remember, Trump launched a major air and missile campaign against Iran on 28 February. And under the War Powers timeline, that action started a 60-day clock that now runs out on May 1st, forcing a decision on whether and how to continue the war legally. Now let's discuss all the possible scenarios and what Trump can do. One path for Trump is to cut a peace deal, or at least a ceasefire that allows him to scale back or end U.S. combat operations before or soon after May 1st. This would reduce legal risks under the War Powers Act because the law is aimed at sustained hostilities, not low-level or defensive deployments. A deal with Tehran could let Trump claim victory by saying U.S. strikes weakened Iran's military threat and forced it to negotiate. But the deep mistrust between Washington and Tehran and heavy casualties already reported in Iran and across the region make a quick political settlement difficult. The second option is to seek explicit authorization from Congress for continued military action in Iran. The War Powers Resolution is clear that if Congress declares war or passes a specific authorization, the president can keep using force beyond the 60 to 90-day window. So far, attempts in the House of Representatives and Senate to reshape or limit Trump's war powers on Iran have failed on close, partisan votes, showing how divided lawmakers are. Winning a new authorization would require Trump to persuade enough skeptical Democrats and some wary Republicans that an open-ended campaign in Iran is worth the cost and risk. The third option is the most dangerous legally. Trump could simply ignore the May 1st deadline and continue operations without new approval, arguing that the War Powers Resolution is unconstitutional or does not apply to this conflict. Every president since the law passed in 1973 has questioned parts of it, especially the rule that forces must be withdrawn after 60 to 90 days without Congress acting. If Trump chooses this route, he would be acting against an express statutory command that he shall terminate the use of U.S. armed forces after the clock runs out, unless Congress authorizes or extends it. Legal experts note that a president's power is seen as being at its lowest ebb when he goes against a clear law passed by Congress, opening the door to court challenges and impeachment talk, even if enforcing the statute in real time is difficult. No matter which option he picks, peace deal, congressional approval, or defiance of the deadline, Trump's choice will reshape the debate over who controls war in the United States. If he respects the war powers limits, it could strengthen Congress's hand in future conflicts. If he ignores them and pays no political price, the law will look weaker than ever. Well, as May 1st approaches, the clock is not only ticking on U.S. forces near Iran, but also on the balance of power between the White House and Capitol Hill, and on Trump's own exposure to legal and political risks at home.